A 1966 125 white. White is not the color. White is the brand. They were imported into the United States from the mid to the late 60s by a guy named Jack White. The motorcycles were made in Hungary, and they were made under various names for sale in Europe, but they had a logo, if you want to call it, almost a private label, and they were called a white. This particular motorcycle is pretty much original, with the exception that a prior owner had painted all of the chrome gold. The gas tank was originally chrome with black down the middle. The wheels and the shocks, which should have been originally chrome. The front wheel and the lower fork tubes, those were all originally chromed along with the gas tank. And where the logo was, where they had painted it gold, you could see that it's originally chrome. And this is the way I got this motorcycle between 10 to 15 years ago. When I got it, it did not run. The kickstart was broken, and I tore it down, split the motor cases, and found that transmission axle was broken. Motor cases were cracked. So I had got into touch with a fella in Hungary that bought one at a swap meet and sent me the motor block. So out of two engines, I ended up with one that runs. It's very, very low tech. The carburetor itself does not even have an idle screw. It's just adjusted by the slack in the throttle cable. The choke is a baffle on the intake system that when you turn it, it covers up the slots, and that's the choke. But this particular bike doesn't even need it. It has what's called a tickler, and when you push on it, that holds the float down until a little gas kind of comes out, and normally on the second or third kick, this thing fires up. It's again, it's extremely low tech. The only thing that might be simpler than this would be a Briggs & Stratton engine, and I'm even wondering if that is really any simpler. It's a 3-speed and kickstart on the left. It even has a gear indicator. You know, God would know why, only because I don't think there's any way you could really look down at it when you're riding the bike. But she really is an original survivor, with the exception of covering over the chrome. It's original seat. She's been frozen in time because it has a Pennsylvania plate on it that was last registered in '69, and then there's a sticker or two under it. Also, Pennsylvania has state inspection, and this particular motorcycle was inspected in '67, and there is a little bit of remnant of perhaps another inspection sticker under it. It's really hard to say. So we would say that the bike was really first put on the road in '67. Now the question that I'm faced with or pondering is to restore the bike, which I'd really like to. I'd like to get this thing to be the way it was when it was new, and then just ride it to some collectible meets. The speedometer is damaged, the needle is broke, and the speedometer cable is gone. This is the key, and it even had this to cover that up. A lot of the older European bikes did. And there was only one key that was really ever made. It's kind of like one key fits all. So if you had a key for one of these, you could ride any of them. A few parts are missing. The original clutch lever, the left grip, and the high-low beam switch is missing, and the headlight was replaced. That's not original. The headlight bucket or shell is, but I do have a chrome headlight rim and a new lens coming for it. So where I'm at right now is to remove the gold, all the gold paint, get it back to chrome, or if I have to re-chrome it, to get the alloys polished on it, get the spokes refurbished, and remove all this red pinstriping. That's not original. A little bit of buff, a frame paint, but we do know that the engine is good, and let's give it a shot. Nothing like the smell of two-stroke exhaust in the morning. And I did mix it very rich, so I wouldn't even think of the possibility of any kind of